Alright, back again. Got all my running done finally. Got a Saturday, so gonna try to get quite a bit done. I've already actually, I did get a new way to record. I got a different, it's a phone, but it's a different one. So should have some memory and shouldn't have all the problems I've been having. But I still gotta stop it to flip you around, so give me just a second. Alright, where's that? I did actually pull the end of the oil pressure sending unit out of it already. It was leaking. That was part of my good leak too. That's what I actually thought was leaking. But I can't really tell in the video. But you can tell where right above the oil filter was scraping it. And if you hold it straight, and you can't really tell in the video. But it's been bent, so I don't know if I try to pull out. But it was in this little pipe here to extend it out. So I'm still going to use this to get this further away from the motor. I don't know. I've never really had problems with these, but I've heard of people melting them, putting hose in them, and it's not good when that happens. Push out a lot of oil. But these are the gauges that I'm going to be putting in it. But that'll just be for now. I'll eventually go back to the other ones. I kind of like these gauges, so I might, I don't know. I'd like to keep this truck fairly original, but the more I see some aftermarket stuff, like I was actually watching Gen 2 Garage, the Billy's brother off of Street Racing Channel, and he had some brackets for his OBS to put racing seats in it. So it got me curious to what kind of brackets they make for a square body where you can put some like different style, maybe bucket seats in there. But then again, I really want to keep it kind of original. So I don't know. I guess we'll just see how. I'm just going to slowly work on it. It's like I said from the beginning, it's going to be a shop truck for now until it's too nice to not be a shop truck. And then, I don't know. Usually when they get that nice, people don't drive them very much. So I'm hard on vehicles, so I don't need real fancy. But it would look nice with a real paint job and all that. But get back to this. I'm going to wrap this with thread tape. Thread it in there, tighten it up. Mommy. And then this goes in there. Mommy. What's this? Oil pressure gauge. Bristol. Bristol. You want to say yeet for the camera? Say yeet. Say yeet. But and then this one I'll thread in here. Got my ferrule, hook it all up. But for now, I'm going to thread tape this up, get it all ready to go back together. Alright, so I got it all thread taped up. This is actually just sitting in there just to show you how it'll go. It'll go like that. This will go into there. I'm going to climb into there real quick. I need to spray around it with some brake clean. I'll show you where it goes. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the temperature side. As long as it's all like that, then or like this, it'll all match up. We'll use that one too. I don't know what brand these are. But that's the brand of them. I've never used them before, but they seem to be decent little gauges. They got all the hookups to wire them all together. Run them to a battery, or I'm probably gonna run mine to the headlight switch. One thing that I've never hooked up is the voltmeter, so we'll play around with that one. Done the oil pressure, done the temperatures, they're easy, but I'm sure the volts are easy too. It's just finding what wire to run back there, but climb up under there and clean this up real quick and I'll show you what it looks like. Goes right. I can't really get to it correctly. Right back behind the oil filter on top of it. I can't really get the phone back there. Damn it. You need water in. Right there. That'd be our hole. The old one came out. Let me get a little light up here. Came out right above that and then ran straight up. And it was rubbing right on this side of, well, I'm way off. It was rubbing right there on that little side lip. And I think it bent it, maybe over time pulled some threads. What are you doing? But here's our, I'm gonna charge some damn lights. That's our leaking rear main seal, which it's, from what I've read, it's pretty easy. These gaskets don't look too old on this motor, so hopefully we'll get lucky. And it's supposed to be a Jasper rebuilt. Hopefully, oh fuck me, I'm way down here. It's supposed to be a Jasper rebuilt, but I haven't seen a tag on it yet. But it is a little oily back here. It's usually on the, I think, the passenger side and lower.
Daddy.
What?
Do you know Bristol has a bowl, like a big paper thing that has so much paper, and she has a Sharpie?
Nah, take it from her. But I did put a new starter on it when I first got it. Between me and I worked with the guy that owned it before, this truck probably hadn't been driven that much. But I'll get all this cleaned up under here with some brake clean and get that back in, start running my line, and I'll get right back with all y'all. I'll show you how I'm going to run it. Try to keep it away from this manifold. Probably go up and over top straight to there. But I'll get some of this cleaned up, knocked out, and get right back with you and show you what it looks like. Alright. Alright. Wow, let me get a better angle. Alright, there. Comes out of the block, goes to that extension, hooks into the ferrule fitting and runs up, and now I just got to run it up into the cab. But I figured while I was down here, I would go ahead and start knocking this out. I read where you can, it's got those little slots around it. You can try to pick it out right there. If it doesn't work, drill a hole in the face of it, put a little screw, use it for a little something to pry on, like a little leverage. Also read where it's good to go ahead and drain the oil out before you do it. So I'm gonna round up my tools, drain the oil real quick, get right back, and guess we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're going to try just the little grooves first. Can't even get in there. So the other thing I seen was take this little screw, run it into the face of the seal, and then use like a pry bar, use this for leverage and work it out that way. I don't actually have a drill bit as small as this screw, so I'm just going to see if I can start the screw. So, I'm trying to find a place to sit you where you can see. But, I don't know. I'll be right back, show you what, if I get the screw in it or not. Alright, as you see, we got the screw in there. Now we're going to use, I'll try it with a screwdriver first. Oh, it's going to be too hard to do with on it, but we have a screw in it, and now we're going to use this screw for leverage. See if we can get this out real quick. Alright, so we got it out. The whole screw thing didn't work. I can see where it would work for people, but I didn't have a small enough drill bit. The screw wouldn't go through the metal, and I ended up just took a screwdriver, and it was actually really brittle, had some cracks in it. So I was able to, there was a, like this was broke off like that. I was able to stick it in there, pry on it just a little bit, and it popped right out. Now I need to clean the surface up, get it started back square, and then I might have a surprise on how I put it in there. I was actually going to use a 4-inch PVC cap. Sits on it perfect, and I was going to tap it in there, but when I went to the store up the road, they gave me a 4.5, so it ain't going to work. But I was wondering why a regular old cup wouldn't work. But I'm going to go see if I could find one that'll fit over this seal perfect. I don't even know where I laid the new seal, and we'll tap it back in there, and I might try to get somebody to record. But I'll get that cleaned up. See if I can't find me a cup. I'll get it tapped right back in. Don't record yet. Just hold it. Jesus Christ. Alright, I got it all cleaned up. Got it. I put a little bit of oil on it so it would slide on better. Oh God. Thought it would slide on better. But I'm gonna try this cup. See if it'll work. I don't know how well it's gonna work because I got it all uneven now. actually working. Going in a little crooked, I don't know. Oh, your mom's gonna be so mad. Her cup just busted. Well, the cup ideal's not gonna work. We almost had it. It's got just barely a little bit. I think it's actually going. I wonder if we should pull that out yet. I guess those are like a little lineup tool or something. Just barely. Still just a little bit. Can't get it to go. We will get right back with you. I'm going to try to find something else that's 4 inches round. A little bit stronger than my wife's cup. That's junk now. But we'll get right back with you. Guess what we found? A header cap. It's exactly 4 inches. And it's still not working. Just enough to hook your nail over there. I said it's just enough to hook your nail. Now it's all sitting pretty well flush. Seems alright to me. Alright, now we will. I'm going to check and make sure I've got that in deep enough. Seems like it should be. It feels like it should be. But I don't know. The other one seemed like it might be a little bit deeper. I'll see and make sure I got that in deep enough. Need to put the drain plug back in it. Put the drain plug back in it. I'll change the oil filter real quick. Make sure that's in all the way. And then I think it's in all the way. I'll make sure it's in all the way. Change the oil filter. And we'll get right back with you. I'll either do the temperature sensor or I'll button up this rear end, put the bolts on it, or put the cover on it and stuff like that, clean that up. But we'll get right back with you. Alright, so we're back again. Changed the oil filter, changed the oil, added oil, got the flywheel on. I let it sit there for a while to make sure that rear seal, I know it wasn't started or anything, but I just wanted to make sure nothing would seep out of it. And it was good, got the flywheel on it. I did find a kink fuel line on my return side. I'm going to have to replace that probably in the morning. But right now, I got my rear end cover all cleaned up, and I'm about to stick it on there. I actually went, grabbed my transmission, was going to put the torque converter on, roll it under, and get ready to have it stabbed in. And they gave me a torque converter for a 400 turbo. So I had to run it back. Tomorrow at 1:15, they say they're going to have me another one that'll fit mine. So hopefully they do. I won't bore you with putting this cover on. I was just letting you know where we was at for today, and probably be back tomorrow. We'll cut that fuel line and start messing with that transmission as long as I get a converter. Or we'll find something else to mess with. There's plenty to mess with right now. But really would like to have the transmission in it tomorrow. But we'll get right back with you tomorrow. Alright, so we are back. As you see, well, the transmission is slid up under there. I probably won't record a whole lot of this. Basically just sliding the transmission up. I don't know, I'll probably hit and miss. If I get run into something, I'll let y'all know, whatever. But it's just me trying to line it up and everything. Sometimes it's easier just to stay under there and not stop and stuff like that. I took the torque. We only got the torque converter on Sunday. Took it, and I've put 1.5 quarts of fluid in it. Most people say you're supposed to put 2 in it, but I just couldn't get it. And when I went to put it on, it still dumped out. So I think I got plenty in it. But I did get the fuel line replaced. Let me see if I could find it. It's under the truck. That piece of braided line laying underneath there, I noticed it's my return, so it's not, I don't know that it really would affect anything, but it had a little kink in it. So I went ahead and cut it out and put a rubber line through that, and then zip tied that up out of the way of the transmission. But I'm gonna get under here, try to stab this in real quick. If running anything, I'll show you. Once I get some bolts started, I'll get it recording and show you a couple little things, how I put one in or pull it out and all that. Get right back with you. Alright, so I wasn't able to record a whole lot, but as you can see, it's in there. I got the bell housing bolts on, tranny lines, and the cross member. That's about all I'm going to do tonight. It actually went fairly smooth once the transmission jack is, I don't know. I had to keep letting pressure off of it, adjusted on it, playing with it, and finally got it up high enough. That took me the longest out of everything, was just to get the transmission up high enough. But that's about all. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Hopefully get the dry shaft in, torque converter bolts, and the rest of the cross member bolts. I got to pick up a couple bolts tomorrow. But we'll be right back with you tomorrow. Alright, and another day. Today, we're going to try to ignore the duck. Now we are going to, I need to get these bolts in here. I don't know how well this is going to work. But if you see, everything's about a half hull off, which this truck has been wrecked. But I don't know, it seemed to line back up pretty easy earlier. I don't know if all of them will do that, but we're going to try. Let me see if I can't get a couple in here real quick and get right back with you, because I'm not going to be able to hold this and do it at the same time. Yeah, I'll just get back with you. Alright, little update. Got the torque converter bolts in. Got the... Why is it zoomed in so much? There, that's better. Got the torque converter bolts in. Got the transmission lines hooked up. Got the speedometer hooked up. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 7 of the 8 bolts in, and I got everything loose where I can work it around and get the the transmission mount in, or that bolt in. So I need to get that bolt in, get all these tightened up, try to get that last one in, the dry shaft in, and the dipstick shoved in. And I'm gonna leave the dust cover off for now. That way I can check the torque converter bolts after I drive it for a little bit. But I get all that done, it'll be on the next video, but it should be, the kick down cable has got to be ran and hooked up. But I get all that done, it should be ready for a test drive. Put some fluid in it, make sure the transmission pulls. And then this weekend, tear the motor apart and put the new intake on it and all that good stuff. But this is probably going to be the end of this video. Need to get it edited and put out. And thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, I know I didn't show a whole lot of the transmission, but it's basically, I don't know if you can even see it in there. Right here, and then right up from it, you'll see a little black head, and there's one on each side, and there's 2 in the top. You take the torque converter bolts out, take that out, take the cross member out, unhook the shifter linkage, pull the dry shaft, transmission lines, speedo cable. If you got a 700 R4, you got a kick down cable. Slide it out, drop it down. That was kind of nice on this one. Didn't have to mess with the exhaust. Was able to just slide it back and drop it down. Going in basically the same way. Oh yeah, and you got to pull the dipstick out. But hoping for some good luck on this one soon and get it done pretty quick. I want to at least try to drive it 3 or 4 days and make sure everything's going to work right before we leave for the power tour. Hopefully get it test drove, tighten up the torque converter bolts, put the dust cover back on it. The wheels should be, well, getting the wheels tomorrow. Tires, well, I'm gonna try to drop it off right after work. Tires should be this weekend. So we're knocking some stuff out, but still got a little bit to go. We got, I don't know, 3.5 weeks, something like that. But I don't know, not too bad on what we got to do, but would like to stay ahead of it so don't get behind. I know all about getting behind on derby cars. But that's the end of this video. If you like what you've seen, like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell us if you don't like it. But haven't had very many views here lately. I don't know. Maybe the lawnmowers was a better deal than the square body, I think. I don't know. But thanks for watching.